Referee today, Luke Pearce of England, his 30th game in charge at international level. Matt Carley, Christoph Ridley run the lines. Tom Foley is the television match official, all from the RFU. We're off and running at the Aviva Stadium in what we hope will be an absolute belter on this November afternoon at the Aviva Stadium. And Ireland will want to settle into their patterns, lay down a marker. If New Zealand get up ahead of steam, you feel that confidence that was built last week against Japan, well, it might well flow away. That's a great chase from Conway to put down Rees. And New Zealand have the ball inside their own half, and Ireland's line speed and their defence, well, the coach Andy Farrell said last week, despite the 60 points, it was the defending that he was happiest to see. James Lowe, big test for him today. Jordan got there, but Bundyaki picks up the pieces for Ireland. And it's there for Gibson Park, whose right hamstring is very heavily strapped, it has to be said. Gibson Park so good last week. Sexton, Ringrose and Ireland setting off to handle the ball and play a little bit of rugby, moving it from one place to another. Porter, Gibson Park, Keenan, little show and go, and breaks the first line of defence. It's Retallick who puts him to ground. Ball still there for Ireland, and Sexton pops it back into Ian Henderson. Good confidence building stuff this from Ireland in the opening 1.5 minutes. Sexton again, Aki, and they've created a bit of space and they've created numbers. And Ireland through Conan and Conway, and across to make the tackle comes Leonard Brown. Barrett there to assist, but Ireland up to the New Zealand 22. Tide Furlong presents the ball for Gibson Park. Now Sexton, and the crowd are on their feet as Sexton breaks into the All Blacks 22, and Ireland make the mistake at the breakdown, but good early signs, and the crowd will be encouraged.
Yeah, it's a brilliant start from Ireland. Superb continuity.
Number 4 took out the jackal.
It's incredible. Unfortunately, a penalty there in the end, and that's what Luke Pearce gave the penalty for and explains it there. But great start for Ireland. That'll give them confidence. It's physical to break down.
Well, Hugo Keenan, that was where they broke the All Blacks line for the first time. Retallick put him to ground. It was good defensive work in the end and needed to be for New Zealand, and now it's Cody Taylor. New Zealand get their hands on the ball for the first time, and then the hooker goes at the back. Taylor. Ireland stem the flow of the first maul. Away comes Taylor once again, and the ball goes to ground. Men over it looking for a penalty. Referee not interested on the All Blacks go. Blackadder, it's his hands on the ball for the first time. Jonathan Sexton, the one to meet him. It's there for TJ Paranara, and up into the air it goes from the boot of Barrett, taken by Hugo Keenan. 15th straight start for Ireland at full-back. People wondered who would take over from Rob Kearney. Keenan has very much answered that question, put his hand up, and has been rock solid and better than that on many occasions for Ireland. Gibson Park to the air once more. After it goes Conway. Jordy Barrett is there to gather it. Sets it back nicely. Paranara, and then to Ioane. The ball knocked free. Rees is the one to get to it. Conway gets to him. Ireland starting at 1,000,000 miles an hour, but it's knocked forward from an Irish hand, and back will go.
Yeah, just trying to go down the short side there, New Zealand. TJ Paranara. Good tackle by Bundyaki.
Just a knock on in the tackle.
He looks up for the game. You saw him at the haka. Ioane. That's just the left hand of Bundyaki, isn't it? Low tackle there from Gary Ringrose.
Let's find up, please. Left and left of the line.
I tell you, there's a ferocity at the breakdown from both sides.
Left of the line, please.
Well, this is going to be an interesting battle for the afternoon. The scrum as Laulala, Taylor and Moody set up against Furlong, Kelleher and Porter, and this Irish front row is being talked up, which is always a dangerous thing facing the All Blacks.
It is, yeah. Andrew Porter's play around the field, he's is sensational, and he's been brilliant as a tight head. This is a different challenge for him. A few years since he's played consistently as a loose head.
Paranara will feed, and out it comes and away it goes, and Barrett and Leonard Brown in midfield cross the game line despite Sexton's best efforts. A good carry for New Zealand, and then Retallick, well, he runs into a wall of green shirts led by Josh van der Fleer. Perenara back for Beauden Barrett, and up Ireland come quickly again, and the referee says not forward, and the defensive effort from Ireland is celebrated in the stands and on the pitch as if it were a score.
Yeah, it's brilliant line speed there from Ireland. They numbered up well. They know they've got to do this. The pass is a little bit floaty. Dardy Savea just takes his eye off the ball.
Okay,
Caelan Doris coming really hard there, and Tyke Furlong. He's such a good footballer, Savea, and he gets on the front foot, drives those legs, just couldn't get hold of the ball there, took his eye off it.
Yeah. Sorry, mate. Crouch!
Gibson Park will get to feed this Irish scrum.
Bind.
Scored a try against Japan last week. 12th international cap for the 29-year-olds, and Ireland will get the free.
Yeah, what will they do with it though? I think they may set a scrum again. New Zealand not taking the hit.
Scrum again?
And you're right, Alan, the decision is to scrum once more.
Well, it's a better option to launch some sort of attack off, isn't it?
Both teams, a touch of space, please. A touch of space. Both teams. Yeah, I'm trying. Okay, bind up there.
Tyke Furlong.
Manage your space.
51st cap this afternoon. He's reached cult status with the fans as well.
He's brilliant. He's brilliant. Just his overall ability. I think he has the respect of the rugby world, the way he can play and his mobility, defence. He's the full package, isn't he, Furlong? So important to Ireland today. He can get his hands on the ball and make some carries for them as well against a powerful pack.
And now the free is reversed, this time against Ireland. Last time it was against New Zealand, this time it's Ronan Kelleher who's picked out by the referee.
And they're going for a scrum now.
Thank you. Scrum call.
So we've wasted a minute or two here, and it was Ireland scrum, now it's New Zealand scrum.
You two, control your pack's weight, control the lead, get the scrums working.
And Luke Pearce is pretty clear with what he wants from the scrums. You can be guaranteed if there's an infringement this time, it'll be a full penalty one way or the other.
Yeah, for sure. I think both sides are kind of standing up, hesitant to go down into the scrum. He wants to get him down in, ball away.
Have your point.
TJ Perenara, 78 international caps.
Crouch!
You just look how flat that New Zealand backline is with Jordy Barrett out here in the wide channel. Incredibly flat.
Scrum half looking for a decision from the referee that didn't come, and we will now get on with the game. Barrett high into the darkening sky on this November day. Keenan got a hold of it, but then knocked it forward. New Zealand have the ball. Sevilla takes it into contact. Aki puts him down. It's there for Perenara. Goes out the back to Barrett, and there's a foot to stop that ball going through. I think it was from James Ryan, and it rescues possession for Ireland. Gibson Park will go to the air. Both sides happy to hang it high and ask others to chase. Jordy Barrett hit by Andrew Conway. Ball is presented. Ireland get over it, and Henderson has it.
It's a brilliant turnover from Henderson.
Tyke Furlong in a little bit of space, but uses his bulk as he runs into Papali'i. Conan. What a revelation Jack Conan's been since being selected for the Lions.
I'll explain in a second.
Referee.
All our phases are fine, but the first tackle is very slightly in the air.
The referee judging that there was a New Zealand player.
So just timing on the catch, please. That was a touch in the air.
Yeah, it's a call from the TMO, I'd say.
No, that's fine. It's just back on that catch.
It's a shame for Ireland there. I think the call is correct. I think Jordy Barrett was slightly in the air when Andrew Conway tackled him.
You had the advantage, and I called it over. Perhaps it was a bit soon. Who knows?
So then, Beauden Barrett will probe the touchline and give New Zealand a really decent platform right on that Irish 22. Throw to the line. Now here's where the penalty came.
Yeah, you must wait for my bind.
Momentary, but by the laws of the game.
Yeah, I think it's the right call.
Hold the 10, please.
Quickly taken by Cody Taylor, and now there for Pernara and Barrett and Crossfield it will go, and it's a really good take and beautifully done by Will Jordan, and Jordie Barrett comes at 1,000,000 miles an hour in New Zealand, just meters away from the Irish line, beautifully constructed by the All Blacks, but Ireland had picked off by Kelleher, but it looked like a try was coming for New Zealand. Jordan was magnificent in the air. Beautiful kick from Beauden Barrett, but Ireland's defence holds strong, if only just.
Yeah, just about there. I think what a kick from Beauden Barrett crossfield. Will Jordan on the money. This is superb accuracy. Hugo Keenan can't get him. James Lowe did brilliantly, and how good did Gary Ringrose do there?
Clearly tackles the arm and not the ball.
Oh, that's a big let off for Ireland.
If we go to touch,
little hands here, and the penalty for New Zealand being offside, that's a let off.
Yeah.
Great scramble defence from Ireland there. But I tell you, Gary Ringrose to tackle Jordie Barrett when the ball was popped out of the tackle team.
My TMO's always working, mate, honestly.
He's bust his eye or cut over his eye there from it, but he saved a try there because Jordie Barrett is a big man for a full-back.
And he was coming at absolute top speed as well. Ringrose did the job, paid the price.
And I tell you, if that was a bit of a wrap tackle, or if he didn't put his shoulder, watch this now. There was two of them. It was Andrew Conway as well. That's brilliant from
both of them.
Yeah, he got the elbow, I think, in the side of the head, but both of them put their bodies behind that.
And Ringrose has the bandage added, but apart from that, he's okay.
Yeah, fair enough. Yeah.
So is there anything we can do to help you there?
Bit of space. I got it.
No, just
all the scrum scientists on both sides trying to figure out where the bodies are supposed to be.
Sam Whitelocke is having a chat with Luke Pearce there, just about the scrum engage. I think both sides were messing about there a few minutes ago. Both got penalised.
Red scrum hat is scrum half, Christoph.
So then Ronan Kelleher will throw to the line, 15th international cap, and he doesn't find his man, but Sexton will secure possession for Ireland, and the cavalry arrives to protect him. Henderson, part of a COVID scare in the Irish camp yesterday when one or two positive tests came back. That was yesterday. Everybody cleared by last night as Ronan Kelleher carries the ball to the halfway line. Sexton, Ireland are showing a bit of ambition with the ball moving it across that line. Happy to offload and then to kick. And Conway comes onto this at an angle but just can't gather it.
No advantage.
No advantage coming. We're going to come back for a New Zealand knock forward, I think. Jonathan Sexton is down.
To do some
back on his feet now.
No, there's no rush here, fellas. Be careful with your timing, mate. It's a late tackle on number 10.
Late tackle on Sexton, says the referee.
Ireland, captain, where you kicked it or where it landed? We're also checking that as well. But for this offence that we're looking at the moment, where you kicked it or where it landed?
Luke, I'm about to show you head contact on island 10.
Okay, so we need to refer that and look at it, do we, mate?
Yes, we do, yeah.
Now, in addition to this penalty, there's going to be a TMO involvement for a potential high tackle on Jonathan Sexton.
Okay.
It's not that.
It's not that one.
Yeah, we're just getting the right one, Luke. 1 second, just bear with us.
It's the one from the overthrow, Ryle. When Sexton picked it up, Cody Taylor, I think, might have wrapped an arm around the head. I don't think it was
just
that
coming
serious.
your way now, Luke. Just 1 sec.
So we'll watch all of the clips,
but there was
and then
definitely
we'll have a discussion
some sort of contact.
Here we go.
So Sexton goes there, and the question is that high. Player involved.
The reverse angle is coming now. This is probably your best angle.
No problem. Let all the clips play out, mate, and then we'll have a discussion. Okay, so I'm ready for a conversation when you are, Tom.
Wait a minute, Luke. There's one other angle I want to show you. 1 second, please.
Yeah, no rush.
This is the angle.
That's fine.
We're just going to freeze at the point of contact. Luke, 1 second.
Fine. So ready for a conversation, Tom, when you're done your work?
It doesn't look good when it's slowed down like that, but I think if this was a red, I think it would be a little bit harsh.
I
They've got to find some mitigation here.
I'm just going to freeze at the point of contact once more.
Sexton was bending down to pick up the ball.
Please. We've seen enough, and we have a decision I think we want to discuss, please.
Okay, ready when you are.
So the camera's back, is it? So first of all, lads, we have foul play, yes. There is head contact, yes, but I'm not seeing as a high level of danger, just a low level of danger. I'm on a yellow card for this.
Agreed. The majority of the force is taken by the body, but there is head contact for me.
I'll check. I'll let you know.
Can you explain me why?
So foul play, there's clear direct head contact, but it's not a high level of danger. That's why it's yellow.
So the referee and his officiating party absolutely clear in what they've done, why they've done it, and why Cody Taylor is going to spend 10 minutes in the sin bin, and it's hard to argue with any of that logic.
100% correct. I think it's a sensible call from Luke Pearce. There's mitigation there. There wasn't a high level of force. He's trying to go for the ball. Jonathan Sexton is bending down a little bit, picking it up.
Just let them get set.
It would be a shame for Cody Taylor and for New Zealand if that was any more than a yellow. So I think it's the correct call.
New Zealand, are you ready?
So then after all that, we will resume with a penalty to Ireland and a real opportunity for Sexton to probe the line and give Ireland the platform of a line out inside New Zealand territory, and of course with that numerical advantage. It's been a good 2 minutes from their perspective.
It's a brave call, though, isn't it? You think points are hard to come by New Zealand. It was a kickable penalty, but I think that's the ambition that Ireland have shown, and maybe the mentality coming into this game that they've got to really play and go for this.
Crowd raise their voice. Ronan Kelleher needs to find his man and does so. Then Ireland will go to the maul, and Kelleher takes his place at the back of that maul.
Okay, that's once Ireland.
New Zealand defend the first effort really well. It's rock solid defence of the maul from the All Blacks, and Gibson Park is going to have to use it, which he does. Ringrose taken down by Beauden Barrett. Ball there for Gibson Park, goes back the opposite direction, taken on by Caelan Doris. Doris 5 metres short now, Ireland. Kelleher around the corner. New Zealand, I should say, are the ones that are being asked to work really hard now defensively. Gibson Park has a little look, hand out, advantage being played to Ireland. Porter will be the next to pick and go. Henderson is beside him. Retallick gets in there and makes the tackle. Where's the ball? It's there for Gibson Park. Sexton, Aki, out to Keenan. A little bit of room to manoeuvre. James Lowe! Lowe in the corner for Ireland. And the first points at the Aviva go to the home side.
I'll tell you, that is some score from Ireland. Great aggression, physicality and patience, and then they see the chance and the opportunity to put it through the hands. The communication is good. What a moment for James Lowe. What a brilliant try from Ireland. Great passing. Hugo Keenan passes at the right time, doesn't he? I think Jordy Barrett, or Beauden Barrett, Will Jordan is about to tackle him. Gets low. Brilliant finish. Let's hope Jordy Barrett is okay. He took some sort of a knock there on the shoulder of James Lowe, but great pass from Bundy Aki as well. There was space out there. I've got to say, it's no more than Ireland deserved. They've been really brave and executed superbly so far in this game.
What a moment, as you say, for James Lowe. His third international try. Got one against Japan last week. His other one was on debut against Wales a couple of years back. And, well, there were serious questions asked of James Lowe when he made the move from provincial to international level. There was a sense that he didn't get the step up, and there was... Well, there was a group that felt he wasn't ready for it. Well, he's come back and he's answered over the last 2 weeks in a particular way. And that, against the land of his birth, will live long in his memory.
That's a special moment for him. New Zealand got a bit tight there, didn't they?
Well,
defensively, which is surprising, but it was down to some good carries from Conan, from Doris.
Absolutely, and that extra man for Ireland is probably the difference in New Zealand being able to defend it. Sexton then with the opportunity to add an additional 2. On its way, is it going to hold its line? No, across the face of the post, so it's just the 5 for Ireland. Hugo Keenan, terrific pass. We saw it against Japan last week, his ability to pass off either side across distance to perfection has been an addition to his skill set, and the execution exactly as he needed it to be.
Yeah, he's a brilliant player, and he's shown that since he's come into this team. A lot of composure. And James Lowe did well because Jordy Barrett's a big player. He's tall, very physical himself. He got low early.
Bowden Barrett high and hanging, and Ireland don't deal with it. James Ryan knocks it forward, and now Sevilla and Bowden Barrett onto the ball around the first attempt to tackle of Ringrose.
Tackle!
Gets to ground before Ireland hold him up. Through the hands, and eventually finds its way to Leonard Brown, who comes back inside there for Perenara. Now Joe Moody, Kelleher and Porter combine to put him to ground. Ireland's line speed really good. Perenara. Sevilla.
Tackle!
Henderson trying to strip the ball in the tackle. Ireland can see it, but
East to west.
that's illegal.
Easy. Number 4, you can't go north or south, east to west after a tackle, please.
Ian Henderson, the one that's pinged.
And he's pretty clear what Luke Pearce says. I'm not sure if he let go of the player. He wants him to get out of there. But he did well, because I tell you, Van der Fleer and Henderson, they've got to hold Ardy Survey up. He's so strong and powerful. Henderson's got to go out to the side. The counter ruck is okay, so he's pretty clear what he's saying there, Luke Pearce.
Mike Katz and Andy Farrell can't quite believe it.
I'm not sure
about
it's the right
either.
call. I think you can go through the ruck like that. He blew the whistle pretty quickly there. Ireland had a good counter ruck going, but it's a great opportunity for Jordy Barrett now.
It is indeed. 19 points against Wales a fortnight ago in the Principality Stadium for Jordy Barrett. 178 points in total for the All Blacks. By his standards, this is straightforward. Strikes it well, flags go up as you'd expect, and New Zealand have their first points of the afternoon, and it's the first quarter that's absolutely flown by, really. Ireland lead it by 5 points to 3.
You can't have either option in. You're a tackler.
Ian Henderson trying to clarify.
And I think Luke Pearce is not giving him any clarity. You're allowed to go straight through the tackle area.
Jonathan Sexton will restart for Ireland, and Conway goes chasing and gets a hand in there somehow, and Henderson after Conway's terrific work.
It's a great kick. You think Sam Whitelock is going to take this, but it's a little bit of pressure, and Conway in the corner of his eye, and the end result then you get the ball back. It's incredible tenacity and effort from him to get up there.
Come on. Yeah, time off for the prop down.
He gets the hand in there, Conway. It's brilliant work from him.
Time's off.
Well, we saw it last week. We've seen it all the way through Andrew Conway's career, from schoolboy level all the way through to his time with Munster and now with Ireland over the years. His kick chase is as good, well, it's better than anybody else's in Ireland in terms of getting there, getting up and winning and causing disruption.
You're right.
Of course, New Zealand are going to have to make a change with
we need space.
Cody Taylor in the bin. Means Dane Coles comes into the game.
Sorry, mate. You know.
Yeah, Ethan Blackadder gone off.
We need that space.
So they're down a flanker
everything's
here.
knocked out of sync, okay? Both teams, we need that space. Second rows, hold them back. Left of the mark, time on. Left of the mark. Left of the mark.
We saw a few messy scrums a few minutes ago. Ireland certainly need a solid platform here to try and launch an attack. You don't get many opportunities against New Zealand. When you get into that 22, you've got to try and come away with something. At least build some pressure, hold on to the ball.
Crouch. Bind. Set.
Gibson Park then will feed the Irish scrum.
Onside, black 9. Ball's your mark.
Rock solid scrum for Ireland. Conway comes off his wing. Bundyaki offers himself. Conway holds on, should be there, and is for the scrum half. And Conan runs into a big tackle from Severis. Porter. Sevilla does the job to put him to ground. Ireland not really making any ground. Good defensive effort from New Zealand, and that defensive effort is rewarded.
So you do your team, I'll do mine.
It's
okay,
brilliant,
please.
brilliant defence from
I
New
understand
Zealand.
that, but I don't tell your team how to play moves, so please don't tell my team. Okay? We don't play referrals. We're doing our job. Hey, wait, careful.
Yeah, Luke Pearcey's right. I mean, we've seen this over time develop more and more, where referees are getting it from not alone captains, but all 30 on the pitch telling them how to referee the game. And he's right to have a word with Jonathan Sexton and say it needs to stop.
He needs to get the balance right, because he is, I think he's complaining about some late tackles and late hits, and New Zealand are certainly following through with the tackles, and they're very aggressive in doing that.
You okay, boys?
I don't think there's anything wrong with what we've seen there. The ball comes loose there.
Sorry, Doc.
It's great defence from New Zealand, though, isn't it? It's aggressive defence.
Well, both sides have defended aggressively in the opening 21 and a half minutes, and not surprisingly, when there's an opportunity to take care of some of the bumps and bruises and get some water on board, they're taking it.
Everyone just stays left of the mark.
New Zealand are going to make a change for a HIA. It means that Bowden Barrett is the one who's going to come out, and Bowden Barrett will be replaced by Richie Mwanga. There he is.
Not a bad replacement, is he?
Oh, he's just got it all.
Oh, he's a serious operator.
He stopped for your player. There we are.
You mentioned a minute ago, right? Both sides are doing a lot of yapping and talking to the referee, and making his job a little bit more difficult.
Don't change over.
Calling every decision, shouting offside here, there. I was pretty good at it myself when I played, but you know, they have to get the balance right, because you don't want to turn the ref and start irritating.
Crouch.
A little bit of subtle pressure is okay, but I think he's just kind of made it pretty clear now. He doesn't want people shouting and roaring at him.
Perinara feeds. So yeah, goes the other way from his scrum half and tries to get Will Jordan involved in the game, and they do get him involved in the game, and he's held up. And if Ireland could stop the ball coming back on the New Zealand side, which they can, they'll get the put into the scrum. That's really good defensive work. And it's, well, it's the whole load of them, but Caelan Doris.
It's absolutely brilliant from him. The reaction there, Servia just goes down the blind side, tries to get Will Jordan on him one-on-one. And this is where he is really good, Jordan. He wraps him there, gets that right arm, doesn't get the knee in the ground, and once he locks onto the ball, then he looks at the referee. Jack Corran is with him, and it's a significant turnover. Great moment and brilliant defence from Doris. He was really alert there to help James Lowe.
Interesting to watch the coaches' benches as well. The New Zealanders tend not to do what the Irish coaching staff are doing, which is they're fully emotionally engaged in the performance of their players.
Because New Zealand are so good, and anytime something good happens against them, it excites you and you react to it.
Decent scrum for Ireland, and they get the penalty.
Let's hear the explanation. There was
I think he's going to say for whipping.
Yeah, for whipping around. It would look dangerous there, the way they followed through.
Second, man. What was that? I thought 3 was straight, and then you stepped on the outside. Thanks. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go.
So the sin binning is due to end any moment. And we can see Blackadder and Cody Taylor ready to come back in, and they'll be back in to defend this line out.
I tell you, Jonathan Sexton got everything out of that kick, didn't he?
Sure did.
Come on.
So another great opportunity for Ireland. 6 meters short of the All Blacks line. Ronan Kelleher. It's 15 against 15 once more. Van der Fleer, Caelan Doris, Kelleher back inside, but the All Blacks read it all the way. Still there for Gibson Park. Conan gets a yard or two. Gibson Park once more. New Zealand scramble back in defence. Ireland come once more, but they're stopped at source.
Okay, Ireland. Onside, please, 4.
Tell you, there's a lot of space in the blind side, but they're going to go infield, Ireland.
Van der Fleer pops it on. Should be there for Ireland once more. Kelleher has a little look to see who's beside him. It's Andrew Porter. Furlong offers himself as the first receiver. Kelleher holds on. Whitelock is the one who puts in the tackle. Porter once more. Round the corner he goes. Surveyor goes after the ball. So too Cody Taylor, but it's there for Josh Van der Fleer. Almost gets away from Whitelock. And New Zealand do enough in that scramble defence to win the penalty. Big defensive effort when Ireland looked like they were going to get there. Now New Zealand are not going to hang around. Keep the ball in hand. Taylor will play scrum half and it on to Ioane Perenara.
Hold in front.
Not quite expecting that, I think, but downfield it will go. Hugo Keenan positioned himself really well. Tackle is made by Papali'i. Porter, Sexton, James Lowe into the line, and Lowe holds on. Now looking for support, has it in the shape of Jack Conan. Ireland are humming. Ryan. Tackle is made by Blackadder.
No.
Van der Fleer. Gibson Park. Ringrose through a little gap. Still Gary Ringrose. Ioane gets to him. Gibson Park. Sexton on Ireland come. Ball presented with the scrum half once more. Here's Conway. New Zealand cut off the options out wide. Gibson Park again and again. New Zealand do what they need to do.
Well, it's brilliant defence. I think it was TJ Perenara there in the end. He's so good at the breakdown. They're hanging on, New Zealand there, aren't they? The crowd don't like that one. We'll probably have to see it again to see if he was on his feet. It's great attack from Ireland and ambition there, and just in the end, a couple of crucial turnovers. Will it come back to haunt him? James Lowe made that break up the middle, gets the offload. Some great stuff from Ireland there. Ringrose with a step. Joe Moody just hangs on and just knocked him a little bit.
Well, you say that
Wait for my
New Zealand are hanging on a little, and I agree with you. But the one problem from Ireland's perspective, if you don't take those opportunities, well, you won't get them all day long against the All Blacks. Here's Caelan Doris. Ireland win an All Blacks line-out and get another opportunity. They only lead by 2. They'll feel they should have more. Sexton, Bundyaki straightens the line. Lennart Brown eventually combines with others to put him down. Gibson Park around the corner. Sexton, little show, but holds on. Gibson Park, Ringrose. They're lining up backs and forwards to carry. Jonathan Sexton slow to get to his feet. Will follow James Lowe instead. Caelan Doris on his shoulder into the New Zealand 22. Lowe once more. He is loving it out there right now. Gibson Park. Back to Bundyaki. Keenan. Great hands from Ireland. Ringrose steps back inside with Conway outside him. Now Bundyaki. Conway tries to clear it out. It's there once more. Ian Henderson. Big hit from Perenara.
No, not yet.
Hugo Keenan will play scrum half. Ronan Kelleher. It is ferocious in both defence and attack. Caelan Doris. New Zealand in over it. Surveyor. Once again, New Zealand come away, but almost get themselves in a muddle. You cannot take your eyes off this.
Wow, it's unbelievable. That's a big worry for Ireland. That's Jonathan Sexton, who's down injured. It's incredible play. New Zealand turn it over right at the end again. Ireland, and James Lowe is so prominent there, so many occasions.
No foul play. We'll just make sure, because it's head, we'll just make sure he's okay.
You said it well, the opportunities when you get into those good positions. Again, Ireland are getting very close, but just in the end, New Zealand are turning it over.
How often do you see that? The New Zealand tackle 77 to Ireland's 35 after 29 minutes. It's they who have had to do the defending.
Yeah.
Jonathan Sexton is dragged to his feet. And how fit he is to continue is another story.
If you ever just have a look at the going off their feet on the when they're defending. Just have a look, it's not. You don't have to,
Nah, he's always falling to the ground.
Tells the story.
There's still a shoulder into his face, though, whether he's falling or not.
Possession statistics 63 to 37 in Ireland's favour. It's been a very, very good half hour, but keep drawing your attention back to that scoreboard. Only a 2-point lead.
Yeah, I think, but they can take a lot of confidence from the way they played and the way they, but you don't get many chances against New Zealand normally, but I think Ireland have been brilliant in this first 28 minutes.
Just make sure our
Should have some more on the board, though, for sure.
So many of
definitely. And it's just that being a little bit clinical right at the end. They're doing so many good things. And look, New Zealand are a ferocious side at the breakdown, and they're getting that
everyone's ready, lads. Wait till everyone's
turnover.
ready.
Ireland have been penalised twice for sealing off the ball. That's an issue for them. So they've got to be careful there, just sealing off. And it's out of desperation, really, because New Zealand are so good at the breakdown.
Nine's receiver by the looks of it, mate.
Well, Gary Ringrose has had fresh bandages applied, and Ireland are now going to get on with it. Ian Henderson has the ball. They go to the maul, which has given them very little so far. A little bit more this time. Kelleher breaks away, and it's set up, and Conway is there to secure possession. Porter will pick and go, but they're set
offside
in the All Blacks defence, but offside, so a free play for Ireland. Van der Fleer tries Furlong gets the try that Ireland's play richly deserves, and the Aviva goes absolutely bonkers.
And I tell you, the key here, Ryle, is Gary Ringrose looked up, he saw that Furlong wanted the ball. Richie Mo'unga's in front of him. It's very difficult for Mo'unga. But what a try for Ireland. Ronan Kelleher off the back of the maul, gets so far close to that line, and then they have the patience, and they're finally clinical. Watch Kelleher here.
Yeah, we might be
the identification. Drives through Perenara, gets that little yard there. The clean out then from Gibson Park.
Time off. Let's just get all the replays, Tom, and then we'll have a discussion.
Furlong with a big smile on his face, but I think they're going to have a look at Ronan
Tom,
Kelleher.
is that the clips, yeah? Yeah, it's okay, mate. I'm ready for a chat if you want to.
Yeah, ready when you're ready.
So the ball carrier goes in, he's tackled, and a bit of momentum first of all takes him further. What he can't then do is use his knees to propel himself that extra yard, which takes the jacklers out of play. So he can't do that. It's a penalty. Are we in agreement?
Agreed.
Just to be sure, we didn't have the offside before that, did we? That's the first offence.
We did.
So it is the first offence. The offside came from that breakdown.
That's fine. No problem.
This one's going to be chalked off.
The, where that happened back here.
5-metre line.
No try, Ronan Kelleher.
We're talking about costly
stuff again. So the first one's fine. What he can't do the second time is then propel himself forward. But the offside was after that, so it goes to New Zealand here.
That's fine.
Thanks, mate. Yeah, penalty.
Jonathan Sexton is just clarifying with the referee. Well, I'm not sure the advantage was to New Zealand. The referee held out.
He said the penalty was after when Ronan Kelleher made the break and started crawling on the ground. He then gave a penalty to New Zealand, so it's correct that if Kelleher was wrong first, which we'll see it here from the maul, they penalised him for crawling a little bit along the ground, and then New Zealand were offside.
Ireland, while you watch that,
it's just a knock-on.
Ball
inside New Zealand.
Well, New Zealand had it. Looked like Ireland had it for a moment.
Now use it under advantage for a knock-on.
Will surely complete the job. Still 5 points to 3, and New Zealand will be mighty relieved that they're in this position, and now they get the penalty. And just to let you know, Beauden Barrett won't be coming back.
He did nothing.
It's Richie Mo'unga from here on.
Off the ball, please.
Yeah, he's a big loss, but what a replacement with Mo'unga. And
number 1.
Another penalty against Ireland there. Conceded 7 now, which is big numbers for a team that have had a lot of possession. I think it was Andrew Porter just pushed.
Not clear for me, lads. How many are coming in? 6 man.
So then, New Zealand, it feels like a long time since they were inside Irish territory with some possession. Well, They should have possession, and they do through
Broken
the
away.
significant presence of Rotalic, and now they put it through the hands and away they will go. Cody Taylor, can you believe it? Papali'i to Taylor, and New Zealand from nowhere, and they will do it to you every time. They soak, and they punch, and what a try from the All Blacks.
Yeah, it's brilliant pace from Cody Taylor, but a big massive gap opened up the back of that line out. Papali'i saw it straight through the gap. He was going to pass it, and then it just opened up. Let's see what happened. Oh, Kelleher just he moved forward. Ronan Kelleher left that big gap for Papali'i. That's a bad defensive mistake from him. A huge gap there. He holds the ball. Cody Taylor does brilliant to support him.
15th international try for Cody Taylor, and New Zealand hit the front, having soaked up so much pressure from Ireland, and we said they weren't emotionally engaged.
Fine, thanks,
they
sir.
are now.
How are you?
They didn't get too excited, did they? But that's how clinical New Zealand are, and they, you know, hopefully we won't keep going back to what happened in that first 30 minutes for Ireland, where they had so many chances, a try chalked off, a couple of penalties, turnovers close to the line, that they've got to believe and keep that self-confidence and self-belief and try and replicate what they've done in this first 30 minutes.
Jody Barrett with the conversion attempt, which is good. Flags go up, and New Zealand, remarkably, based on the evidence of what we've seen, have a double score lead. It's Ireland 5, New Zealand 10.
Yeah, you see the gap there between Furlong and Kelleher. It gets bent a little bit, and then the gap is. They're worrying about the threat in midfield, really. Sexton and Bundyaki, they're all pushing a little bit wider. They've got to get a little bit tighter there, and it's a very, very soft try to concede.
Crowd raise their voice at the Aviva. It's taken over on that far side by Reese. All Blacks will be buoyed
New
by
Zealand.
that, no doubt about it.
Use it! 9, you've had it. Yes, they are.
Perenara, I should say. I know where Pereira came from. Well taken, Hugo Keenan. Van der Fleer. Great tackle. Sexton. James Ryan. Sevilla. Well, you can see the effort being put into the defence by New Zealand. It's been so impressive the whole way. Ireland now have an advantage. Bundyaki, that pace, almost lost the ball, and the referee is going to bring it back.
Captain.
Sam Whitelock and Jonathan Sexton are going to get a talking to.
Thank you. Thanks. Lads, I don't want all this. Sam, very clear warning. Had a penalty against number 2 earlier on for a late hit, and then a penalty for this guy being taken off the ball. Got to be better disciplined, okay? Tell your team, please. No, Sam. Have a word, please. Just let him speak to them. Listen, mate. You don't want the commentary. You don't want the commentary.
I think Sexton's got to stack up for himself and his team here.
Okay, to play New Zealand.
They're both giving a little bit of afters, and both sides, they're talking a lot. There's a little bit of niggle there, but he's getting a warning, Sam Whitelock, there, that there's late tackle, so he's got to take it on the chin and talk to his team.
Well, you'll remember back after Ireland beats the All Blacks in Chicago, there was a game here a couple of weeks later, and it was incredibly physical, and there was a sense that Ireland were out-muscled and didn't stand up for themselves with some of the stuff that was going on the pitch.
You watch this here. The ball is clearly gone, and it's a late hit, and it's something that, you know, they've targeted Sexton. They're trying to rattle him, but there's a couple of them there, and he's every right to talk about that.
Taken by Ireland. Van der Fleer, Gibson Park, Jonathan Sexton, Bundyaki, and he runs over the top of Muanga. Ringrose, really nice from Ireland. Conway, James Lowe out wide. Back comes Lowe. 2 meters short. Ireland building beautifully again. Can they find the finish this time? Furlong has had one choked off already. Gibson Park digs it out. Henderson, hit by a wall of black, tries to go around the outside in the second wave. Gibson Park looking for it. It's slowed right down, but it's still there for Ireland.
Thanks, Six.
Where's the ball? It's there for Kelleher. Ireland keeping it tight, punching around the fringes. Porter has enormous strength, but not enough to get through that wall of All Blacks defenders. Gibson Park has a little look up. Sexton will make the call. Sexton, Bundyaki, short darting run inside. Gibson Park, Jack Conan with Kelleher on his shoulder. New Zealand making tackle after tackle and forcing Ireland back. Gibson Park once more, Van der Fleer on the charge. Cody Taylor gets him down. Gibson Park, Sexton goes himself. Jonathan Sexton, inches short. New Zealand's defending is heroic.
No, they're not.
Around the corner goes Porter. What an absorbing contest. 13 phases. Ireland throwing everything they have at the All Blacks. Can they find a way? Crowd raise their voice. Kelleher charges for the line but can't get there.
Short still. The line.
Should still be there for Ireland, but they need to clean it out.
The line.
Ball slips away.
Knock on
and onto it comes Whitelock.
Under pressure, so knock-on advantage. Use
Unbelievable defence from New Zealand.
Over.
And again, Irish hearts broken, but maybe not for long. Here's James Lowe. The advantage was over for the knock-on, said the referee.
No, ball's here.
Gibson Park can see it. Ireland 7 metres short inside the final 3 minutes of the first half. It is breathless stuff. Ringrose, Gibson Park, Kelleher. Tackle comes in for Papali'i. Chest high, says the referee. Move on. Conan. Jack Conan gets it away. Gibson Park at the last moment. Bobbles the ball, knocks it forward. New Zealand clear. What a passage of rugby.
Oh, it's incredible. And no matter what happens, I know we're going to keep saying there's chances missed there. That's incredible play from Ireland and from New Zealand. The defence there in the end, hanging on for dear life. They just come up with that big play. They're so committed, so tenacious.
Take a sec.
Incredible
it's your
couple
player.
of phases there. Sexton nearly gets there.
Well, the tackle count for the back rowers of New Zealand, you look already at... Let's have a look. Blackadder, 17. Papali'i has 15. And we haven't even reached half-time yet.
That's unbelievable. The ball just doesn't... Gibson Park just doesn't hold on to it.
Okay.
Now, it would have been a harsh situation there from the previous turnover. Perinara kicks it and it's advantage over. And James Lowe catches it on the run and goes right back at New Zealand.
David Havili comes into the game and it's Leonard Brown who's gone. I have to say, I can't tell you what happened on that one. There was so much going on, but Leonard Brown is gone and Havili is in.
Everyone ready?
Look at the tackle count. 143, 37.
It's unbelievable, and it just goes to show how strong they are defensively as well, New Zealand.
Ronan Kelleher as we tick towards the half-time break. Can Ireland get something else out of this half? They'll wander to the dressing room at this point, wondering how they're 5 points down. They're looking to correct that. Gibson Park, Sexton again, Henderson on his shoulder. And the All Blacks continue to make the tackle count. This time it's on Gibson Park. Aki protects the ball. Porter will play scrum half. Finds its way to Sexton and Caelan Doris, who's got through some amount of work in this first half. Here's Bundyaki, got very little outside him. James Lowe is a mile away. And he needs support, which he gets just in time. Tyke Furlong, Jonathan Sexton, trying to find a way. Van der Fleer picks it up off the ground. Lovely work to get it to Conway, who steps away from the touchline. And Ireland into the 22 once more. Tyke Furlong, great hands to get it away. James Lowe to James Ryan, and Ireland get the penalty.
They're just been relentless, Ireland. The way they're keeping the ball, the passing, the accuracy. Against such a good side.
2 penalties, contact in the air.
They just look
Offside, 13.
Look out on their feet, New Zealand. They're down on their knees. They're puffing, they're panting. It's phenomenal.
And Ireland are going to keep pounding away at the door because Sexton's declined the option of 3 and goes to the touchline.
Enough.
It's just phenomenal. They're offside.
You need to
Ioane
pass the
here,
message on,
well
please.
offside.
Squeaky clean! Squeaky clean!
Thanks, mate. Okay, here we come then.
So one last throw of the dice for Ireland before the break.
Yeah, and they've got to go. I think the right decision to go to the corner. I think taking a penalty at this stage, it goes against what they've done earlier. But look, they've got to keep going. I think
Hold the 10, please.
scoreline doesn't benefit them, but
And they haven't controlled it, although Porter comes away with it. It's not forward. And the opportunity is gone. And New Zealand are going to go to the break with a 5-point lead. Go back and look at that half in the highlights, and you'll wonder how. But they have done it, and it's a sign of a great side. They figured it out. They soaked it up. Ireland have been outstanding with every bit except the final pass. And New Zealand, in a breathless game at the Aviva Stadium, lead it at half-time. It's Ireland 5, New Zealand 10. You don't want to go away.
The North versus the South.
My goodness me, wow!
Who will take their rightful place at the table of champions by claiming this season's UEFA Europa League only on SuperSport. Upgrade to DSTV Compact.
Oh, I see, it's movie night. What are we watching? Another rom-com? Seems like the girls want this one, Mr. O.
This is my favorite movie.
Oh, I'm actually a romantic guy myself. There's actually this new one I can show you. I swear to get you in your feels. Mr. O, you big teddy bear, you. Yes, sir. We'll catch up later, Mr. O.
Get that feeling with DSTV Premium. Go to box office and rent movies straight from the big screen.
We're all for hockey. Not for the fame or the hype. We're into hockey for the fans in Vegas, waiting for the desert to freeze over. And the ones in Tampa, hoping lightning strikes thrice. Hockey's for the diehards and the faithful. It's for every rookie in Seattle. And it's for us, because honest to Stanley, we're fans too.
Watch ESPN on DSTV.
Absolutely crush the opposition.
Stay connected to DSTV and get in on all of the epic sporting action with SuperSport.
Who's ready for another chunk of Champions League?
I was made to be a champion.
In the Bruyne! Breakthrough!
All the hard work and the dedication.
Oh, what a goal! Absolutely stunning! That is utterly astounding!
Who's put Liverpool in front?
Third the level! One last chance! Went for it! Oh! Come at the hour! Come at the man! Kings of Europe again! What a start for City! Go! Everything he touches at the moment is golden!
UEFA Champions League winners 2021.
This is what we live for. Choose unbeatable football. Choose the UEFA Champions League on SuperSport on DSTV.
Welcome to Africa Sport Tournament. This is the show that brings you everything sporting and at the same time entertainment. Penalty area, not cleared out completely, and a strike up there! Interception. Another perfect clearance. That's exactly how you do it!
Africa Sport On isn't Africa Sport On if we don't give you your dose of entertainment.
Gently.com on a silver platter.
Africa Spot On will take you on and off the field with all your favorite sports. Brought to you by Total Energies, the official partner of AFCON.
The North versus the South.
My goodness me, wow!
What a performance it has been at the Aviva Island, kicking things off with James Lowe scoring against his country of birth, but it was Cody Taylor that really got the All Blacks to sparkle yet again. A ruthless team will always find a way to get past that try line, and they have been brilliant, particularly in their defence. I'm still in studio with Jean Adwa as well as Vic. Defensively, the All Blacks, sheesh.
Yeah,
TJ Perenara on Ian Henderson.
It's been ferocious, ruthless, an absolute ability to just get off the ground, put your body on the line and make tackles. It has been amazing from a New Zealand point of view, their defensive system. Over 150 tackles made in that first half, only 7 or 8 missed. Ireland only 37 tackles and 7 missed as well. So this game came down to quality of possession versus opportunities as well. New Zealand's been able to use their opportunities and score a try when needed. Ireland has all the opportunities, but not being able to capitalise and score tries. Ethan Blackadder, 17 tackles in 30 minutes. Because he was 10 minutes, he was off the field. Just shows what this All Black team has gone through in that first 40 minutes. And Ireland is throwing everything at them from an attacking point of view.
And it is tackles. Proper bone-crunching stuff from New Zealand against Ireland. Ireland just missing that last final touch.
It has been all Ireland in this half, and just besides the scoreboard, you know, I honestly believe that they should have been in front. I believe at times the mindset is correct. When you play against a team like New Zealand, you gotta be taking the game onto them. You know, you gotta have energy, and I'm enjoying the shape on attack. You know, they are really asking good questions on that New Zealand defense. But there are times when you have the easy points, you know, there's nothing better than building that scoreboard pressure, even though your mindset is all about taking the game to New Zealand. And I just find that, you know, if they make those different decisions when they are in their half, they would be make things easier for them. So it's important that they're able to take the opportunities when they get them.
But Vic, what a start by Ireland. Absolutely brilliant.
Yeah,
even in defence as well.
That's what I like about rugby, different styles. I mean, we watched that first game with the Springboks playing the slow poison, pressure game. All of a sudden, these guys come and they both teams just play with ball in hand, quick rucks. Even the kicks is on the front foot, nothing slow. But that's the different styles. And I really, look at this try. No try. It was very close. Just look at this defence from Ireland as well, on the line. I mean, Geordie Barrett, 110 kgs. The intensity of this game is just unbelievable. And that's what you want to see. I mean, both sides giving it their all. But the thing against New Zealand is you have to take your opportunities. When the opportunities are there, you have to take it. I think maybe that try of Ireland that was disallowed was a bit harsh. Very hard call. And then New Zealand take that and they go score on the other side. But the second half is going to be unbelievable.
Certainly is. It's going to be unbelievable. Tide Furlong with that try that was disallowed. If we do have it, we'll be playing it in just a moment. So you can just talk us through that, because a lot of people, I feel, maybe might have missed that double movement that happened a little earlier.
Yeah, it's very difficult. I mean, if you go to rucks, and I think we're just too late here, but if you go to a lot of the rucks, there's always a second movement, even if it's backwards. And that one, I don't think it was crawling. It was just at last to get it away. But yeah, that's probably, here we go. We see there goes to ground. They probably wanted to put it back. See that extra movement. It's just that extra movement. But I mean, if that wasn't a try, that would never have been a penalty against him.
That's the margins, though. You know, when you play the All Blacks, you get opportunities like that. You can't make those small little mistakes, and they are just so good with having minimal ball, being able to capitalise on that and get points on the board. So Ireland's there. Ireland is there to really take this game, but they need to be able to capitalise on, again, a mistake defensively. Ronan Keller going out of line. Papali'i seeing that opportunity. And then Cody Taylor having the pace to score the try, you know. They had 1 or 2 opportunities and they've threatened. Ireland has had way more than that and not being able to get points on the board. So it comes down to also, you know, do you take the kicks at goal? Because they've had quite a few deciding not to take that. So it's, you know, it can go either way in the second half. But the effort from the All Blacks defensively has just been immense. And the question needs to be asked whether they can continue with that in the second half. Losing Beauden Barrett and Anton Leonard-Brown so early as well. Will that have an effect in the last 10, 15 minutes?
And I think, it speaks volumes about the character of this team, having soaked up so much pressure. I think if any other team were to take that much pressure, they would have been 10, 15 points behind. But this New Zealand team has managed to make those big hits, keep working hard, and when they get into that the Irish half, they're able to capitalize. And for me, I think it's important when they get there, they have to vary their play a little bit. This try was amazing from Ireland. They're just patient with ball in hand. You saw they go a few phases with the forwards, and then they give it pass to the backs. And execution was pinpoint, and great finish from James Lowe against his country of birth.
Yeah, definitely a great one. How do Ireland stay in this match? How can Ireland beat New Zealand, given the performance you've seen in this first half?
Yeah, they need to keep going, but they probably just need a little bit of composure. Everything is very quick, just having a go at it. Sometimes the ball is slow now, let's slow it down. Let's go again. A lot of those times on the line, they're almost just trying to force it. It's already slow. Take your time, keep your composure, and then go again.
How do they maintain this one, John?
Error rate. They need to bring the error rate down. Too many mistakes, and the All Blacks capitalise on that.
Well, there you have it. We're back at the Aviva. It is the All Blacks leading 10-5 up against Ireland, a team that they've lost twice to in their last 4 encounters, and the home side certainly wanting to replicate the feats of 2018 when they were able to get the one better over the #1 team in the world. Will they be able to repeat it this afternoon? Let's return now to the Aviva for the second half.
The North versus the South.
My goodness me, wow!
Come on, it's the NBA 75th.
Good morning, neighbor. Top of the morning.
This community right here stretches to every corner of the globe. There's a piece of this game for everyone. We've come a long way from the peach basket.
My bad.
So many have made their mark on the league.
And I ain't finished yet.
This is where little moves become movements. But no matter how big the game gets, one thing's for certain. Game don't stop. It won't stop.
Watch ESPN on DSTV.
Verstappen's ahead of Lewis Hamilton. Hamilton's going to try again, this time on the inside. It comes to the shot. A case of what if, all in one moment. I am hungry for more action like this. Cheers you can hear for tens of miles around.
I thought I was going to have a heart attack, to be honest.
Fasten your seatbelts as the exhilarating second half of the Formula One season continues on Supersport, only on DSTV. Broadcast proudly brought to you by Heineken. Get ready for race Sundays.
It's brilliant work. And Roberto Gallia has given Juventus the lead. Juventus lift the trophy.
Ronaldo, what a great start for Inter. Zanetti, memorable goal. Steven Gerrard doubles Liverpool's lead. One of the great European finals. It's another for Sevilla. Koke steers it in. Sevilla done it again.
Manchester United's advantage. Oh, sensational!
Who will take their rightful place at the table of champions by claiming this season's UEFA Europa League on the one broadcaster that brings you unbeatable football? Upgrade to DSTV Compact.
Hey guys! Leisure is an essential service and it can't be taken for granted. But what are we going to do with all this valuable time? We sit back, relax, but not too much. We grab a snack, pick a feel-good movie because we feel amazing.
Get that feeling with DSTV Premium. Go to box office and rent movies straight from the big screen.
This is sweat. This is pain, precision, power, perfection. This is your dream, your nightmare. This is anger, frustration, tears. This is raw. This is 6 a.m. starts, 5 a.m., 4 a.m. This is dedication. This is obsession. This is never giving up, ever. This is being out there on your own. This is togetherness. This is the spotlight. This is fame. This is fortune. This is the life. This is Monaco, London, Miami, Milan, Paris, Shanghai. This is jet set and jet lag. This is non-stop. This is heroics. This is rebellion. This is the future. This is immortality. This is quiet. This is loud. This is glory. This is every surface, every shot, every emotion, everywhere. ATP Tour. This is tennis.
Airtel, the smartphone network.
Over the last 15 minutes as the sides drew breath. We all drew breath. What a first half. New Zealand led it by 5.
We're on the clock, yeah. Perfect. Just on the screen time again. Okay, New Zealand.
So off we go at the start of the second half at the Aviva Stadium. New Zealand 10 points to 5. Many in this stadium are wondering how it is that score. Ireland 70% of possession, 73% of territory, 45% inside the New Zealand 22, but they trail by 5 and they have got to go again. They just simply have got to pick it up where they left off, which is easy to say, not at all easy to execute. And New Zealand, well, you feel they can't simply have a second half as poor from their
hands on the ball.
First half, because it just wasn't what we expect to see. But that said, the All Blacks found a way to get that try through Cody Taylor, and they'll feel they can build from there. Jordy Barrett, he didn't mean that. And it's popped up nicely for Andrew Conway, but that's a poor kick from Conway. A rare error in execution from Andrew Conway allows Jordy Barrett to take it back into contact. And that's a tackle. Ireland told to get their hands off it. They need to do so. Discipline is going to be key as well.
Hold.
Havili into the air. James Lowe comes and claims. Good first half from James Lowe. He was absolutely buzzing. Gibson Park is dragged into the breakdown. New Zealand go after the ball, but do so illegally, and Ireland will get the penalty.
Yeah, I think that was for dragging Gibson Park into the breakdown.
Any jackal if there's players in the way.
Yeah, Artie Sevilla's not pleased, and
you can't jackle
Papali,
if that's the case.
there's New Zealand players in the way there of Ireland clearing the ball out. Bit of kick tennis going on there. A couple of poor kicks from both sides. Can they keep this relentless intensity going?
You've been involved in sides that have come out of the traps and played so well and not got rewards. How difficult is it to come back in the second half and just pick that up?
It's challenging. I think there'll be a bit of a hammer blow that try to concede and not scoring themselves a couple of times, Ireland. But I think there's a feel-good factor about them. I think they look like a side that believe they can do it.
They sure do. Bundyaki, Jonathan Sexton, James Lowe, Andrew Conway. And back into the New Zealand 22, Ireland go to set up the tent again.
No.
Gibson Park. Ian Henderson ships it on to Johnny Sexton, the ever-willing James Ryan. Gibson Park got options both sides, comes back from where he came, and Caelan Doris straightens the line. Ireland making ground with every carry. Van der Fleer runs into a big effort from Papali'i, but the ball is there once more. Keenan, Ringrose, feigns to go one way, goes the other. Now about 2 meters short. James Lowe has one already. Ireland are building again. Gibson Park, Bundyaki, and New Zealand just slam the door once again. Kelleher. Surely that's it. Ireland starts as they did so well in the first half. This second half bursts into life once more, and Kelleher finally gets the reward of Ireland's cohesive execution.
It's tremendous rugby. It's absolutely tremendous from Ireland. Look at the gap. New Zealand biting down. Ricky Ioane, he scrambles across. You think Conway's going to get swarmed up here. They're patient, Ireland. Caelan Doris has made a couple of carries here. Watch the strength of Ringrose and the clean out. James Lowe nearly gets there. Conan's in there on the ball. Great pass Bundyaki stopped. It's great defence from Joe Moody, but Keller has the strength and power to reach out. That's an absolutely brilliant score. Superb continuity from Ireland.
And Irish supporters all over the world will be delighted to hear it. The TMO is happy. So it stands. And Jonathan Sexton has the opportunity to fire Ireland into the lead in the opening 5 minutes of this second half. Ireland need every bit, and they haven't got it. It's 2 conversion attempts for Jonathan Sexton that haven't found home, so it's tied up at 10 points apiece.
That's some chase from New Zealand there for the kick, but Keller just kind of composes himself, takes the hit, stays good and low, and has the strength and power to get over.
Sorry, man.
Back on level terms.
So then Richie Mwanga will get us underway again. If you joined us late, Mwanga in for Bowden Barrett, who was taken off for a HIA and never returned. Jack Conan sets it up for Gibson Park, and Sexton. Ian Henderson drives the legs. Tackle came from Papali'i.
You can't do much more than that.
Looking for more. The left boot of James Lowe is used to bang it downfield, but Geordie Barrett had put himself in a really good position, and that's a terrific kick from Geordie Barrett if it had bounced in his favour. It could have caused Ireland all sorts of trouble. Jonathan Sexton downfield. Sevu Rees has barely seen the ball in the opening 46.5 minutes. Dropped. Jordan picks it up. Ringrose smashes into the tackle. Mwanga goes to the air. Lowe is called for it, and he hasn't claimed it. Keenan will sweep up the mistake.
This is dangerous when you kick like this.
Sure is. New Zealand from one side of the pitch to the other. Ioane sets it up, and it's there for Perenara. Geordie Barrett, and then Brodie Retallick. Nice offload to Laulala. And Mwanga, beautiful pass, just didn't find Will Jordan. Jordan knocks it forward for a moment there. Ireland were stretched.
Oh, they were stretched there, yeah. I think Bundyaki came in a little bit. Laulala, the tighter prop, had a bit of space in the wider channel.
Mate, your player said to me not
Brodie Retallick does brilliantly here to get an offload, to keep it alive. That's the difference.
Isn't it remarkable to see the development of the skill set of the tight forwards in the last 5-6 years? It's gone from being average to being a requirement to almost be outstanding.
But New Zealand were the trendsetters in that, because they always believed that the props need to be good enough to make a scrum half pass at the breakdown.
We're going to start with a New Zealand scrum. It's definitely not a knock-on. New Zealand scrum.
Jordan didn't knock it on, even though he stopped in the belief that he had. And New Zealand are going to get the put into the scrum.
So everyone just stopped playing, and I said call backwards. Well, you didn't tackle him. I had the ball. No. He dropped the ball. He's gave it up. It's going to be a New Zealand scrum. It's a fair call. It's a rugby decision. Have you done the change?
Well, I was surprised because I didn't think it was a knock-on, and they all just stopped. Will Jordan stopped.
Well, the first tactical substitution is being made of the afternoon, as it is in Dublin, and Ian Henderson will make way, and Ty Byrne will come in. Here's what happened.
Here we are.
Now, Mwanga to Jordan, knocks it backwards. Yeah, absolutely, but he stops. Everybody stops. And the decision is, well, if there was no whistle...
Never seen that before, but we're going to go scrum, New Zealand ball.
Yeah, that's certainly a strange one.
Hold the space, please. Hold the space.
You can look at that two ways from the referee. Yes, New Zealand stopped, therefore, if there was no infringement and the game was stopped, it should be turned over to Ireland. Yeah. His view of it is New Zealand were in possession when everybody stopped.
It's probably fair enough. Let's hope they don't score off it from an Irish point of view.
Perenara, that's a New Zealand scrum that's feeling a bit of heat from the men in green, but they hold on to the ball. Ioane, that's not a good pass. Reese is forced backwards. Ireland swarm up and Ringrose tries to block it down. Keenan's underneath this one.
Thank you, good work.
James Lowe called for it, got it, and takes on the contact. Gibson Park, Jonathan Sexton, and in behind New Zealand, Ireland go and force them back into their 22. And there's a belief around the stadium again. They're buzzing, they're bubbling, they believe.
They're making good decisions, I think. That was a real sensible decision. Poor execution, you got to say, from New Zealand. Again, Ireland numbered up really well there, but just turned the ball over. The pass is loose. Severis kicks it infield, which is dangerous, and it's sloppy from New Zealand a little bit there.
Cody Taylor, short New Zealand lineout. All sorts of movement. Ireland try and get some men in the air, and they do, but it's well claimed at the back by Ethan Blackadder.
It's a brilliantly executed line-out from New Zealand.
Cody Taylor trying to get a bit out of it, and then decides to work the short side along with Perenara. Reese is playing scrum half. Ireland come pouring through. That's really good line speed. They put the pressure on.
Hold on side. Back on side, Ireland.
Still there though for New Zealand. Ball is out. Ireland go after it again. They're just not letting New Zealand settle for a moment.
Yeah, they're able to keep that pressure going, and they're making his life difficult, TJ Perenara.
It's chaos.
What a great line-out. Tyburn was up in front of him. Great timing, couple of little dummy jumps. Great execution then in the throw.
Hold the 10, please.
Ronan Kelleher. And Ireland go to the front. And it's popped up for Gibson Park, and Conway plays first receiver, and Bundyaki's full of life still. Takes it into contact. Gibson Park round the corner comes the ever willing and able Ronan Kelleher. Gibson Park. Caelan Doris, away goes Doris, Caelan Doris! What an absolute belter! Caelan Doris is in. Ireland have their third try, first Lowe, then Kelleher, now Doris. And the scoreboard turns green in Ireland's favour.
You've got to say, it's no more than they deserve. It's unbelievable play from Ireland. It's simple. He wins the line out at the front, Doris. And then it's a hard take by Kelleher. Bundyaki first, then Kelleher. Watching the space here. He just steps inside Cody Taylor, and his acceleration pace. He's had a tremendous game to this point, Doris. What a try for Ireland. And again, it's no more than they deserve. They've been setting the trend, the pace, the tempo, the intensity right after half-time. There was concerns, could they keep it going? It's a brilliant score, a remarkable try. No more than they deserve. They're running onto the ball at pace. Cody Taylor is soft in the tackle, and it just opened up there for Doris.
3 tries, 1 conversion for Ireland, gives them 17 to New Zealand's 10. Doris gets his first try in green, the Leinster man. And now New Zealand are really being tested.
Backwards.
We've seen them get themselves into situations before where you thought, no, it's not going to be their day. Well, they're far, far away from that just yet, but there are definitely questions being asked of them right now. Perenara will go the narrow side. Reese bounces off one, Doris goes after him, and the ball back on the All Black side, but not gathered, and Ringrose almost got away from Laulala's desperate tackle. Gibson Park sees New Zealand dragged one way and goes in behind them, and this one is going to bubble and bubble into the 22.
Yeah, I tell you, it's an incredible kick, isn't it?
It's an Irish ball as well.
Yeah, it's a 50-22. Watch the line speed here. He just takes his eye off the ball. Gary Ringrose there is up like a bullet. That line speed is brilliant. Great execution. There was space in the backfield. Jordy Barrett couldn't get back there, and it's a 50-22. Ireland throw now.
New Zealand are going to change their entire front row. Laulala, Taylor and Moody go. Coles, Tuinuka Afe and Lomax come in.
Time on.
Dane Coles will oppose that man, Ronan Kelleher. Ireland looking to build further on that momentum, and the crowd are willing them to a fourth try. But the All Blacks have that line defensively set. Screams that they came in from an offside position on that maul. And I think the evidence will say they did, but the officials didn't pick it up, and New Zealand have turned it over, and they figured another way of defending, but that's not a good kick. Andrew Conway spills it, but spills it backwards and tells Keenan to go out wide and then keeps the ball in hand. Gibson Park will come back to the numbers. Tig Furlong from a standing start can get no momentum. Sexton, Ryan. Sexton does the clear out work. 36 years of age and still up for it. Is he what? Gibson Park, Van der Fleer. Ireland are playing all the rugby. Gibson Park again. He's pulled the strings beautifully for Ireland. Sexton from lovely hands from Furlong. James Ryan and Caelan Doris, they got themselves in a bit of a muddle and they go side to side. Tig Byrne, Furlong again. Ireland need to get there to protect the ball and do just enough. Sexton again. Keenan. Gibson Park. Ball knocked out of his hand. Offside.
He's well offside, David Havili there. He's up the side of the rock. I tell you, you go back to the maul there, and Tyrrell Lomax completely changed his mind in the middle of that maul. I don't know why he wasn't seen. They got away with it. They turned it over again, New Zealand. They're very good.
I'll live.
Tig Furlong. Lovely little cameo. Twice in a couple of moments, but here,
yeah, you cannot change your mind there. And in fairness, when Ardy Savia sees a ball and you go anywhere near with him, he's brilliant. And that's the knock-off on there from David Havili. And again, it's another, you would think, relatively easy penalty. He's missed a couple of kicks so far, Sexton, a couple of harder ones out wide.
He's taking the time.
A whistle full of mud, so I'm on the replacement.
The referee needs a new whistle. That'll surely get taken care of, as Jonathan Sexton takes all the time that he's allowed on this penalty kick. It'll get Ireland out to a 10-point lead, which they will argue they probably should have had at half-time based on the territory possession and opportunity. The fact is, they didn't take it, but they have in this second half, and now the opportunity to go 10 points ahead through the boot of Jonathan Sexton. Straight and true. John Hayes, Centurion in Irish colours, looks on, and Jonathan Sexton and Ireland take it out to 20 points to 10.
Outside, please.
Mwanga, once more. Conan tries to get away from Rees, but he did a good job to drag the number 8 down.
Ireland, use it!
Gibson Park, not going to be given an awful lot of time here. Almost blocked down by Whitelock. Competition in the air that's won well by Geordie Barrett. Kelleher got his hands on it. Terranara can see a little gap. Over the back it goes. And there's a foot race on here, and Gibson Park might just win it. Has just won it based on the body language. Although Seven Rees wants the TMO to have a little look.
Sorry, man, 2 seconds. Tommy, just want to check what we started with, please.
Okay, checking restart, bear with me.
Both players are quite adamant that it should be their way, so we better get it right.
Okay, just bear with us, please.
No worries.
And you'll watch, I think Rees, just as the ball looked like Gibson Park was going to dive on it, Rees got an arm in underneath the Irish scrum half.
Trust me in my process with my team, please.
This is where it all came from.
Yeah,
but you
what
can't
a
ask
take
me
from
to
Geordie
refer
Barrett.
things.
It's an
There's
incredible
a very clear
take.
difference, Johnny.
Just bear with us, Luke. It's coming your way now.
TJ Pernara seizes a bit of space down there.
Yeah,
lovely kick.
Slow it.
Gibson Park did brilliantly to get back there.
No, that's not a try.
1 second, Luke, we're just going to slow that down.
Yeah, they're just checking to see if what they're going to start the game with, whether it's a 22 or a dropout or a 5-yard scrum.
Just waiting for the angle, Luke. Just bear with me, please. We're going to show that same angle again.
This is really tight, Tommy. I'm going to need your help on
Yeah,
this.
it's really tight. It looks as if it might go forward from Black on first view, but just bear with me.
No worries.
This is the angle that'll tell us. It is a Black hand first.
Yeah, so it's knocked on by Black in the field of play.
Yeah. So it's a knock-on by Black in the field of play.
Well, we're just going to check whether it's the field of play or whether it's over the goal line, because obviously that'll affect the restart.
Yeah,
so we now know it's a Black player.
If it's not gone in
we
goal,
need to find out whether it was in play or over the line, because that has an impact on the way the game is restarted.
Okay, so ball's in play, it's in play, it's in play.
Looks as if the ball is actually knocked on over the just on top of the goal line. It's not clearly in the field of play, so go with the goal line dropout.
Fine, so not in goal, not in play, it's a goal line dropout, correct?
Just double checking, 1 second.
I think it's going to be a goal line dropout here. Goal line dropout. He's closer to the screen than we are.
Well, that evidence. It's in play when it hits.
It's in field. It's in field. It should be a 5-yard scrum to Ireland.
I'm not sure yet.
It's in play. It should be a 5-yard scrum from what you can see there.
We've established already.
Sorry, Luke, that angle suggests it's in the field of play, so it'll be a 5-metre scrum.
And that's a better situation for Ireland, even though they're going to be under pressure here. Dropping the ball out into a backfield of Richie Mo'unga, Jordy Barrett, Sever Reese, Will Jordan. Isn't the best scenario, but it just goes to show one mistake, one switch off, and they can score. They nearly scored a try there from nothing.
We saw it in the first half.
Just left, please. Yeah, but if you want me to be fussy, I will. Left of the mark.
Look at a tackle number 204 from New Zealand, 53 for Ireland. It tells an incredible story, but you just cannot switch off with this team because they're so good. Ireland have held the ball so well today, but New Zealand, they can turn it on in a split second. They're certainly capable of turning this game around.
Yeah, there's a long, long way to go in this one. 22.5 minutes of playing time.
It's better than that, you two. Come on, timing on the set. You two. You two. Better than that, come on.
Ireland still out there with their starting front row of Furlong, Kelleher and Porter. Remember, New Zealand have replaced their front row, so it's
for my call on
Dane
bind
Coles,
as well.
Julie Nukuafe, and Lomax.
Crouch. Bind. Set. 9, go.
Gibson Park told to get on with it.
Stay on set,
Ireland need to be rock solid and are rock solid. Gibson Park to Bundyaki. Into contact, tackle made. Aki's knees hit the floor. That's a tackle, and the ball, or the player I should say, has to be released. Gibson Park will complete the exit, and Ireland will be happy enough to be where they are right now.
And it's a good exit from Gibson Park. He didn't go for the box kick, he went for a little bit of distance. It's certainly a better situation. It just takes a sting out of it. Their attack a little bit, New Zealand. They're still on the 10-yard line, and they haven't just built a lot of phases, have they? And what we know they can do, and the dominant force that they are.
Ireland are going to make another change or two. There's Peter O'Mahony, who will come into the game for cap number 78. And it's Josh van der Fleer who will make way for Peter O'Mahony. And Kelleher will make way, and Ulster's Rob Herring will come in for his 23rd international cap.
Are we okay?
So then Dane Coles,
time on.
New Zealand, from here, try to work something a little bit clever, and it is clever. At the front of the line out to secure possession, get a bit of territory, bit of momentum. We've seen so little of the New Zealand three-quarter line, if anything, in the opening hour of this game. Ireland have turned this one over. O'Mahony to Ringrose. Then Keenan is going to have a little go, looking for support. James Lowe is there. Ball presented really well. O'Mahony will play scrum half. Tyke Furlong. Every little bit of furlong will be sapped out of him before they call him ashore. Sexton, not his greatest kick by any stretch of the imagination, straight down the throat of Reese. This one will be down the throat of Sexton. That's a lot of Keenan, that pass, but the Leinster fullback was up to it and he found some green grass, although Jordy Barrett has plenty of time to deal with whatever wicked way the ball bounces. James Lowe bounces up for him.
Go.
He's got a big left foot.
Inside, Christoph. Hold.
Knocked backwards by Jordy Barrett. Crowd want more. They're not getting it. And Lowe again. We're playing foot tennis now.
Still live.
Yeah, and it's probably the right thing that James Lowe did there. Just be patient, don't force it. I think that's the challenge now for Ireland in the next 20 minutes. Can they keep playing? Because if you try and contain New Zealand, very, very dangerous situation.
Ireland win the All Blacks line out. Yeah, I agree with you. If Ireland stop playing and try and suck the life out of this game, they are absolutely sure to be met with a sucker punch. Ringrose. Good kick from Gary Ringrose and well followed by Andrew Conway, stopped.
Yeah, very good kick, and it came from the line-out, Ryle. Ireland putting pressure on the line-out. We saw them struggle last week against Japan in the line-out. Watch James Ryan getting up here. It's a low throw. It's a bad throw from Dane Coles. But it's a big turnover and a big moment, and New Zealand need those moments. They need to win possession, launch their attack.
Time on.
Akita Ioane comes in for Ethan Blackadder. All Blacks bring another huge player into the game. Well, you talked about it earlier. Phase building has been a real issue for the All Blacks through this game. Maybe they'll get an opportunity now, as Will Jordan just needs one moment. And away he comes. I told you, just a moment. And it's a moment of absolute magic. Try for Will Jordan. Simple but beautiful from the All Blacks.
Yeah, and it's going to make it another 20 minutes. What a try from Will Jordan. Absolutely brilliant. They love it. Little chip over. He's a great footballer. Scored so many tries this year. He's been a revelation. Rieko Ioane picks it up.
Try's been awarded.
And he makes a little pass as well, back inside. Ireland just stretched there. I think James Lowe got a little bit tight.
Just take time off for me a second, please, Barry. We'll meet in the middle.
Here
just
was
make sure
Jordan.
13 is not clearly in front. We
Little
don't review
dink
it.
over the top.
Try stands. All
Agreed, Luke. That's fine. Yeah.
Ioane, Jordan, try.
Yeah, it's a brilliant score. It shows what they can do. Ireland just switched off. Got a little bit narrow on the fence. The pass by Moanga out over the top. Just give Jordan that space, and he's so good at those little kicks.
Jordy Barrett will stroke this one over, and New Zealand have closed the gap to 3. What a final quarter in the Aviva Stadium we're about to engage in. 3 points in it, Ireland 20, New Zealand 17, all from a moment of magic from the New Zealand number 14 with a nice little cameo from Ioane in the middle.
And there wasn't a lot on there. I think Ireland just got much too compressed. James Lowe's probably got to stay out in the wing there. But Havili, it was Havili's pass, super pass there to Will Jordan.
Okay, lads, let's go, please. Let's go.
Worth remembering that this is the first of a 4-parter in the next 6 months between these sides. Ireland, of course, travelled to New Zealand for 3 tests in June. It looks like going to be a mouth-watering series, no doubt about that. Ball knocked backwards. The assistant on this side very clear. Gibson Park comes away with it. Caelan Doris has been magnificent. Furlong, Ryan, Ringrose into the 22. Sexton on his shoulder. There for Gibson Park as Ireland hit the New Zealand 22 again. Low, Gibson Park, Keenan and Caelan Doris. New Zealand go after the ball, but it's there for Ireland. Scrum half once more. Tyke Furlong has got through some shift. Sexton, Ringrose, back to his absolute best. Ireland have advantage, and they'll get the advantage. And Gibson Park thinks better of going quickly.
Yeah, it was too low, Max. There's a tackle on Jamison Gibson Park there.
18 cannot tackle.
Right from the kick-off, Ireland go again. In fairness, they haven't let up in any way.
Sexton's hurt, Ringrose is hurt.
Yeah, it's difficult. It's so physical. They put so much effort and time, energy into this game.
Yeah, take time off because he's obviously the kicker.
Got to stay focused. They were fortunate enough here because I think that ball is pulled out there by Tyburn. I'm not sure it's legal.
Yeah.
Saying that's
Tyburn
okay, well I called it. So I called it a tackle.
Turnover statistics.
Okay, he's on that side
for loose forwards.
On the ref here, so I called it tackle. So we
Rugby this year, and you include what he did in the Lions test as well.
Yeah, it was actually a tackle on. Tyburn there.
Check with the doctors, the HIA or a thing.
Sexton's day is done. Joey Carberry comes in his place.
Yeah, he's been brilliant, Sexton, and really physical. So, you know, they're going to run on Carberry. He's got to make.
He's on the 22.
He's got to make tackles. He's got to get off that line, get that line speed.
His heel's just come on, as in
correct. Hang on. Fella, it's pretty important. If it's a tactical, he can't kick it. If it's a HIA, he can kick it. It's a tactical replacement. Hang on,
Well, it's come up from the TMO that it is a HIA.
All you're allowed to say, it's a tactical replacement.
No, it's HIA.
It's an HIA, Luke.
I'm getting it down from the top. Get the water where I.
So it is a HIA. Whoa, hang on, mate. Hang on. It is a HIA. Okay, Sam, it is a HIA, mate. Okay.
Sam Whitelock, just checking.
He's been pretty petulant, hasn't he, Whitelock? And he's now having a go at John Fogarty, who's just standing there with the water bottles.
I'm assuming
the referee was asking him, and he's saying he's getting it from
it's a HIA.
In the microphone, in the earpiece he's got.
Well, he is getting a little bit edgy and has been a little bit edgy the whole way through, the All Blacks captain, but I guess that's a positive for Ireland.
Yeah, well, Ireland are lippy enough at times too, and they have been. Both sides have been. We spoke about it in the first half, and Whitelock is just trying to exert a little bit of pressure, and he was right to ask that question.
Another change for Ireland. Tyke Furlong, you may or may not have seen, has made way. Finlay Bealham comes in his place. And as we head towards 65 minutes, Joey Carberry's first involvement in this game is to try and get Ireland back to a 6-point lead. Carberry made his debut against New Zealand in Chicago. He came off the bench and saw Ireland home when Sexton made way. He's off the bench, gets 3 points, and he's now going to try and guide Ireland home from here.
And that's the HIA. Johnny Sexton clashed with Artie Sevilla there just in the clean-out. Big challenge now with Furlong gone, Kelleher gone, that power, Henderson gone early.
Up high it goes, and Peter O'Mahony is lifted up to...
Yeah, Jordy Barrett is not happy. He reckons the referee got in his way there.
Stop in front!
Carberry strokes it into the air. Conway, ever willing, runs after, makes the tackle. Ireland come pouring in, and it's on the ground. Conway can't have any complaints about that, nor the ground.
It's on the ground. It's on the ground. Again, it's a great it's a great chase and tackle from him, but he played it on the ground there.
Mwanga.
Such an important chase, because I tell you, it wasn't the best idea. He was the only one out on this side of the field for Ireland.
He's off his feet there. No complaints.
It's clear.
Dane Coles and the New Zealand lineouts as they make a rare foray towards the Irish 22. Ireland have got in amongst Coles. Throw in so far. Here he is on the wraparound, and Finlay Bealham makes the tackle along with Rob Herring, but it's a pick and go from Lomax as Byrne tries to get a hold of it. Coles will secure possession. Reese will pop it off.
They're trying the direct approach now, aren't they, New Zealand?
Not the ball.
Little pop passes, pick and goes. Trying to engage that forward pack of Ireland, trying to get him a bit tighter.
Pernara, Mwanga, Avili, not particularly well presented for Pernara, but still there for New Zealand as Brody Retallick runs into James Ryan, still on the 22 where New Zealand started
Advantage,
7 phases
offside,
ago,
18.
but now they have the advantage. Ireland's number 18 is Finlay Bealham, he's the one that's penalised. Whitelock, Barrett, there's room out wide. New Zealand threaten again. Pop back inside.
Still playing advantage.
Advantage still being played. That looked like a high tackle from Ireland. Around the narrow side comes Sevilla. New Zealand building some phases, building some momentum. They have the advantage and it's going to be another one. Is it? No, it's not. Stopped in his tracks. Jordan almost came up with another moment of magic. New Zealand still might. Ireland go after the ball. So often New Zealand managed to find a way to defend when Ireland were in this position in the first half. Ireland have conceded another penalty. It's another free play.
Goal line.
They can take a chance and they score. In New Zealand go again. It's Ioane.
What's the problem, man? Okay, so we're
TMO will check it, but New Zealand piled on the power and the pressure, and Ireland cracked.
And that's what it is, power, pressure, the kick in over the top. Will Jordan, we thought he was going to get a try. They're going back for a penalty. Peter O'Mahony's not happy.
So on-field try, the replays need to show it clearly as a forward pass to overturn the decision.
I think
we'll just see if we get an angle of the hands, just bear with me.
Just to be clear, still nothing clear.
Nothing clear yet, Luke, just bear with me.
Still nothing clear, Tom.
The crowd are baying for a forward pass from Ioane.
Just bear with me, Luke, 1 second.
No worries.
There's one more angle which is about to come, 1 second.
No problem. So does this ball go forward out of the hands?
From that angle, Luke, it suggests that it does, yes.
I think it
1
does
second.
go forward from there.
So, once we finish the replays, Tom, we'll finalise everything.
That's the one, in fairness, Tom Riley has done that.
Replay clearly shows the ball leaving the hands forward, so that is a forward pass.
Agreed.
However, we're under advantage for not rolling away for 3 or 18 offside back forward.
Correct.
Boy, do they love that decision in Dublin.
They do, yeah, but it's the momentum has shifted here, isn't it? A lot of the big players that did so well for so long have been big players for Ireland for the last couple of years are off the field now.
So, just a
Ireland getting a little bit tired as well.
I'm assuming here.
It's going to be really interesting, and they have. I was going to say it's going to be interesting about where New Zealand are psychologically right now.
That's a let-off for Ireland.
Yeah,
that's a let-off for Ireland. I can't believe that.
I think Jordy Barrett is a little bit surprised as well. He wants the tee, and he can't reverse the decision once they've told the referee.
I'm surprised with that.
Hey, we're never going to agree on this one, are we? I don't think it is, but you do. But that's just the way it works. It can be if you want it. What's the reason? The tee is on. Is anyone injured? Okay, clock on, please.
So then, Jordy Barrett to cut Ireland's lead to 3, which he does, as you'd expect. It's Ireland 23, it's New Zealand 20, and there's 10 minutes left in what has been a pulsating game at the Aviva Stadium.
Yeah, it's been incredible. You think of the amount of possession Ireland have had, the control, the phases they've built, and we've only seen sporadic moments but of brilliance from New Zealand.
Time's off.
We expected to see it more consistently, but there's only 3 points in the game.
Ready?
And this makes for a really interesting 10.5 minutes. It's anyone's game now. New Zealand, if anything, looked a little bit stronger.
Crowd are doing their bit to lift Ireland. Fields of Athenry reverberates around the Aviva Stadium. Confirmation that Jonathan Sexton's HIA is permanent, so he won't be back. Joey Carberry will continue.
Excuse me, don't shout at me. Wingers onside.
Reese goes after this one. Gibson Park gets himself in there. Who has it? Ireland do. Jack Conan has the ball. And then Gibson Park will feed Caelan Doris, who makes a rare retreat with ball in hand. Bundyaki, Keenan and Conan. Ioane makes the tackle on him. Andrew Porter, Rotalic, lies on the wrong side for a moment, but the referee is happy to let it continue. Here's Carberry, Conway. Andrew Conway tries to dart into a gap. The door is closed, but not till Conway makes a bit of ground. Gibson Park, Carberry, O'Mahony. Dane Coles drags him down. Ireland continuing to make a little bit of ground on every second or third carry, but not punching the holes that they were. And maybe now, Jack Conan, ball in one hand, Ioane in the other, goes to ground inside the 22, but the ball is ripped, and it's advantage to New Zealand, and they can take a go at this, and they won't get advantage, and back will go and scrum to the All Blacks.
Yeah, it's brilliant from Jack Conan, but the ball is just stripped out of his hand there.
Time off.
Passes out the back. It was a great pass. It was risky from James Lowe. I think it's
boys, we can talk technicalities.
Papali just gets the hand in there. He's strong and abrasive. I could argue that Conan's left knee was on the ground when that happened. Look, his knee is on the ground there, and the ball is stripped out of him. That should be a penalty.
But we've seen it the other way as well. Keith Earls is into the game for Ireland, as is Conor Murray. It's Bundyaki and James Gibson Park who have made way. Conor Murray in for cap 91. Keith Earls in for cap 95. Nice bit of experience for Ireland.
A lot of experience, yeah, for sure.
So Earls will go into the centre for Ireland, outside Gary Ringrose, who moves into the number 12 channel. Earls has played a couple of games recently for Munster, outside centre. Obviously not his preferred choice, cap before for Ireland so many times. The multitude of caps on the wing, but also at full-back.
What looked like a very strong 10, 12, 13 physical three that started for Ireland. It looks a little bit different now. Carberry, Ringrose at 12, Earls at 13. They've got to be on the money in the last period in this game, because New Zealand will run at them. They've got to defend together, stop the offloads.
In the last 5 or 6 minutes or so, even though New Zealand are on their own 22, you feel the momentum, the physical momentum of the game has swung in the All Blacks' favour. Surveyor. O'Mahony lets them away, and Surveyor gets the pass away. And Havili, once more, big tackle from James Lowe when it was needed. O'Mahony goes in after it, and Ireland gets a penalty.
Well, he recovered, didn't he, O'Mahony? He missed the tackle there, and Surveyor, he got back in there. Hugo Keenan saved the day there. Havili is free. Watch this, he steps back in. They think they have an initial impact, and he just rides out of the tackle, keeps it alive. Havili gives the pass. It was James Lowe who swarmed him, Rico Ioane, and then O'Mahony gets in a brilliant position.
Go for goal, yeah. So, goal call.
That is a massive turnover.
It is a massive turnover.
Okay, would you
Ireland are going to have a shot at goal through the boot of Joey Carberry, I think, although Conor Murray might have a little look at this. It's on the halfway line.
He's obviously in the way of the kicker, so just take a second.
O'Mahony needs a little bit of shoulder attention. Big day for James Lowe. He's answered just about any critic that he had left in his performance today. Ireland, of course, Cian Healy on the left, Jonathan Sexton on the right. Move forward next weekend. They have more Southern Hemisphere opposition, with Argentina coming to town.
If it's not HIA, we need to get the game going.
New Zealand, well, they head off to what can hardly be described as an easier game, as they play France away.
On the halfway line, please.
Just saw a shot at Cian Healy. I'm a little bit surprised he's not been on, given his experience and his power. Porter is still out there.
73 minutes approaching on the clock as Joey Carberry strides back and positions himself and settles himself for what would be something a little bit special. Straight in front of the posts, but a long, long way from home. Kicks through the ball and gets it with inches to spare. They don't care, and why would they? Ireland 26, New Zealand 20.
No, the kickoff is vital here for Ireland. They're probably going to go with the short kick again. Jordy Barrett in the middle, Artie Savea.
Okay, boys, 6 minutes, please.
What a kick from Joey Carberry. 6 points in it. In Ireland's favour, Peter O'Mahony secures possession for Ireland. 6 minutes left on the clock. Conor Murray.
Onside, please. Okay, Ireland, use it. Onside, please, 18.
Ireland just need to get on with it here and not try and be too clever in sucking time out of the clock.
Hand on the ball for me.
Jordy Barrett caught in the air, but the referee happy to let it go in the collision with Ringrose. Here's Reese Earls. Does enough to disrupt the pass, and the pass finds its way into touch. And I tell you, 51,000 plus people are beginning to believe this is going to be Ireland's day.
Yeah, there's only 5.5 minutes left. What Earls did really well there is he didn't overcommit. But what a take from Jordy Barrett. What a take from him. He's just sensational. Earls did brilliantly there. Conway was on the outside, and that pass was just sloppy. They know it. I'm not a fan of kicking the ball away like Ireland did there. I think they've got to keep going.
Rob Herring, a lot of pressure on this throw for the Ulster hooker. Free kick given to New Zealand. Ireland taking too long. They were warned to get on with it. Ioane. Well, we've been in this position before with Ireland leading in the Aviva against an All Black side that was looking like it was beaten, and well, so often they found a way, but maybe it's going to be Ireland's day. Keenan fires it back inside and the ball is knocked forward when it looked like the Irish fullback was going to get away and seal the deal.
Oh, I tell you, it was brilliant anticipation with Keenan. That crossfield kick was on initially. He just bound through the air to get it. Zavili's kick. Brilliant from him.
Finlay Bealham is going to make way as you watch that replay, or I should say, sorry, apologies. Andrew Porter is going to make way, and Cian Healy will come in. Healy to win camp 111.
No, come on, let's go.
There he is. What a servant to Irish rugby.
Okay, we're ready to go.
It's a pretty costly mistake at the line out there, wasn't it? A free kick against Ireland. Herring kind of threw it, hesitation. They needed to just simplify that. Win it at the front, just hold on to the ball. New Zealand are going to try and go all-out attack here for this last 4 minutes. Let's hope there's no deja vu. We saw it in 2013. You mentioned it.
Perenara feeds the second row, doesn't every scrum half.
It's a reset. Let's go. Let's reset.
We'll have a reset scrum. Ireland won't mind that. They'll take as long as they can to engage the All Blacks. Perenara, he knows they're under pressure now, but he also knows they've beaten the well before and found a way.
Trying.
Just can't make any mistakes. It's that simple. You cannot make a bad read in defence against these guys. Richie Mwanga starts with him getting the ball. He's so dangerous. He can step. Rieko Ioane, the ball gets out to him.
Yeah, he's in full quarterback mode now, isn't he, Mwanga? Trying to milk a penalty here, and they're not going to get one. So who's asked to carry. Tackle from Carberry. Perenara.
Went back to blindside there. The Irish players waited for him, didn't bite down.
Mwanga And Jordy Barrett is caught behind the gain line, but gets the ball away to Retallick. Ryan and Tyke Byrne goes after it. Was it knocked forward? It was.
Oh, he just got his hands in there, it went forward.
The turnover's good, but then he knocks it on.
Yeah, he nearly had a Tyke Byrne. It's just one moment like that, and it's the game.
Let's go, let's play, let's go.
That's how risky it is. They've got to take risks now, New Zealand.
Well,
time off.
2.5 minutes left, and there's going to be a break in play as James Ryan receives a bit of attention. And well, the player of the match has been decided, not by Alan Quinn, and I have to say that one is with the former Ireland coach, player and manager Donald Lenihan, and the decision, and I don't think it's one that many will argue with, is that Caelan Doris is the man of the match. There he is. He's been pretty awesome from Ireland's perspective.
Yeah, he's been brilliant. Just carries, power, stem. That try he got involved in some big moments in this game. So much energy, and he's such an athletic footballer. Brilliant performance for him. And Van der Fleer, Conan as well. That back row have been really good today. Such a dangerous position, midfield scrum like this. Barrett and Mwanga standing behind it.
And they stay away from Mwanga and ask Avili to carry, and Lowe almost picked it off. And who was knocking it forward? No one, says the referee. That was all perfectly fine. Bounced around like a pinball. But we're still on the All Blacks 22, and we're 90 seconds away from this game being done, and Ireland are going to get a penalty, and this game may well be done right now.
Yeah, I think it's done now. Hunter, 9 points. Side entry there from New Zealand. Tyke Byrne was in like a flash there, trying to poach the ball. Look at the reaction from the players. They deserve it. What a performance from them. They've had moments where they've been really panicked when that New Zealand attack has got going, but overall, they've been really dominant throughout this game. Missed a lot of opportunities in that first half.
I think it is fair to say that when Ireland look back on this one, they'll feel they should never have been putting themselves under this much pressure based on what they did in the first half.
Yes, please.
Yeah, they've made it difficult for themselves, and on a few occasions. But New Zealand are a brilliant defensive side as well, and they turned over ball off Ireland in that first half. But the perseverance and the effort has been terrific throughout this game. And Tyke Byrne was the one. I think it was Brodie Retallick came in from the side there. I'm
going to say that Joey Carbery needs to just take his time here and take every second that he's allowed. He's not under pressure. Game will restart if this goes over, and there's still time on the clock, but it will be 9 points if it's successful. The roar tells you all you need to know.
Well, they'll not have enough time for 2 scores. They're going to go with a quick kick here, but there's only 20 seconds left on the clock.
Up it goes, up O'Mahony goes, possession is claimed, and that's the icing with the cherry on top for Ireland. Last 7 seconds at the Aviva. It's been a monumental performance from first whistle to last. It has to be if you're going to beat the All Blacks. And they have beaten the All Blacks. It's a third success for Ireland over New Zealand. They jump for joy. It will be the mother and father of all parties in Dublin town tonight. Final score at the Aviva Stadium. Ireland 29, New Zealand 20.
The North versus the South.
My goodness me,